Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. New Vision International School, Social Studies, 2019-2020. Hello, my dear students. How are you today? Welcome back to my Social Studies class, Grade 7. Today we need to prepare these things, student book and activity book and highlighter, so please don't forget them. I'm going to discuss with you Lesson 3 in Unit 4, Constitution. So please open your student book page number 133. Our objectives which we have to achieve by the end of the lesson are: explain what a constitution is and why a country needs one, and investigate how a constitution can be changed. And we will learn and understand that the Quran and Sunnah from the Constitution of Saudi Arabia. Now open your student book page number 133, please. What is a constitution? Before we start, you already know that rules and laws are important at home and in the community because they help us to maintain order and protect property and live and work together in harmony. Countries and their governments also operate according to a set of agreed principles and laws. So, the set of laws that outline how a country should be governed and give details of the rights and responsibilities of governments and citizens is usually called a constitution. Do you know the United States of America was the first country to have an official written constitution? Today, most countries have their own constitution. The Constitution of Medina. The Constitution of Medina, also known as Wathiqat al-Medina or the Medina Charter. It is the oldest known constitution. It was drawn up by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after he left Mecca and settled in Medina. Before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam drew up the constitution of Medina, there was much fighting between the tribes of Medina, both between the different Muslim clans and between these clans and non-Muslim clans. The constitution was designed to govern the relations between these groups and bring them together as a single unified ummah. Effectively, the Medina Charter established the first Islamic state. Here we have some of the terms of the Medina Charter include the establishment of a secure community, ensuring religious freedom for all groups that cooperated within the Ummah, the creation of a safe community where people would not be threatened with a violence or weapons, and a tax system, and protection for individuals within the Ummah, and kind and just treatment toward prisoners of war, and loyalty and cooperation between Muslims of different tribes and between Muslims and non-Muslims in the Ummah. And the last one is peaceful methods of resolving disputes. Principles outlined in most Western constitutions. A constitution is a document outlining the basic laws of a state. It generally outlines the system of government and defines the roles of the legislature and executive and judiciary, including any separation of powers. The Constitution usually also outlines how these three branches of government relate to each other and the citizen of the country. Many modern constitutions also contain a guarantee of citizens' rights. This may just be clues saying that the country abides by the International Bill of Human Rights. The Constitution may give details of what is to happen to the Constitution in the event of a war or other state of emergency. For example, the Constitution may be temporarily suspended under certain legal conditions. The way in which change can be made to Constitution are also often explained in details. Amendments to a Constitution. The Constitution of the USA was signed in 1787 AD. Since then, it has become necessary for the government of the USA to make some change or amendments to the Constitution. For example, in 1920, amendment gave all women the right to vote, and in 1951, amendment limited the president to 2 terms in office, and in 1992, amendment stated that salaries of representatives could not be changed until a new term of office has started. In most countries, a constitution can only be amended through a referendum, in which the citizens all vote yes or no to the proposed amendment. If the majority of people and the majority of provinces vote in favor of the amendment, then it may be passed into law. For example, in 1967, more than 90% of Australians voted to amend the Constitution to allow Aboriginal people to be counted in the census and for the laws of the Commonwealth to include Aboriginals. And here we have a picture for an Aboriginal woman casts her vote. The Constitution of Saudi Arabia. The Constitution of Saudi Arabia is the Holy Quran and the Sunnah, traditions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This means that government in Saudi Arabia derives its authority from the Quran and the Sunnah, and that together the Holy Book and the Sunnah are the ultimate source of reference for laws and any other decisions that affect the country. In line with the teaching of Islam, the government is based on justice, shura, and equality according to the Islam Sharia. Through this hadith, we will learn why did the Constitution of Saudi Arabia depend on Quran and Sunnah. In this hadith, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I leave with you 2 things. As long as you hold them tightly, you will never go astray. They are the Book of Allah, Quran, and my Sunnah. Here we have some of the terms of the Medina Charter include the establishment of a secure community, ensuring religious freedom for all groups that cooperated within the Ummah, the creation of a safe community where people would not be threatened with violence or weapons, and a tax system, and protection for individuals within the Ummah and kind. Like our Western Constitution, the basic law of governance gives details of general principles by which the country is run, including that the Quran and Sunnah are the Constitution, and descriptions of national symbols. Number 2, the structure of the government, including the system of rule, succession, and the principle of bay'ah. Number 3, the values of Saudi society, which outline the importance of family and consolidation of national unity. Number 4, economic principles, including the management of resources, the right to own property, and the collection and use of zakah. Number 5, rights and duties of the state and of the citizens. And number 6, the authorities of the state and the ways in which they should cooperate and act under the leadership of the king. This section also gives details of how laws are to be made. And the last one, financial affairs, including how the state's revenue is to be managed and audited, and general principles regarding international treaties and agreements and conditions under which the basic law may be amended. In the reign of King Abdullah, the Allegiance Commission, Hayat al-Bay'ah, was established for the purpose of choosing the crown prince and regulating the process of choosing the ruler. By the way, King Fahd drew up the Nizam, which details how the state is to function to meet its objectives, and developed the country as a whole. You can read the whole of the Nizam on the e-governance website www.saudi.gov.sa. In assignment page, we have finished our lesson today, and don't forget your homework in activity book page number 94, activity number 1, question number 1. Have a nice day. See you next week, inshallah. Goodbye.